Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andy Clements and welcome back to another episode of the Muscle Building Mastery Podcast. I'm really excited to have you here. I think this is episode number 22 today, so we're really rolling with them now. I hope if you guys, if you like this is your first time listening, then welcome. If you've listened to some others before, then hopefully you guys are enjoying them. But in this episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about like what do you need to do, if I get my words out, what do you need to do if you've stopped enjoying your training? And this is not a particularly like sexy or popular thing to talk about, right? Because we're supposed to all really enjoy the gym. We're supposed to all really love the process, right? And we're supposed to like always be hungry for more and strength and muscle and all the rest of the stuff, right? And I want to just like drop some like real talk right now on this podcast that from time to time, I don't care who you are, you will fall out of love with the gym at some point if you are training for a long period of time. I've been training now for just almost 12 years, right? So there's people that have trained a lot longer than I have. I'm not saying like, oh, I've trained for 50 years, right? I've trained for 12 years, which is a decent amount of time and a decent portion of my life. And over that time, I 100% have fallen out of love with the gym more than once. And it's absolutely okay if that is you too. Okay, so if you're going through a period right now, or you've been through a period in the past, or maybe you will in the future go through a period because you've been doing this for so long of falling out of love, and you think, oh, there's something wrong with me. I don't, I'm not necessarily enjoying things so much. I want to tell you first of all that that's okay, and that happens to everybody, regardless of the work harder memes that you might see on Instagram or whatever people want to portray and push onto you, right? It's absolutely okay, and it absolutely happens to everybody, right? I guarantee it happens to more people than you think. And yeah, the purpose of this podcast is kind of what to do to help yourself sort of fall back in love with the gym. So I want to tell you a story about what happened the last time I sort of majorly got fed up with my training. It was probably maybe a year ago. I was really like had enough with the gym. In fact, no, it was probably over a year, like 18 months, 2 years ago. And I was really like fed up with stuff. Because this one particular time, I remember, like I say, you've been training as long as I have. Sometimes you fall out of love with it, but this one particular time, I've been hitting the same workouts for like in a 2-week cycle for honestly months on end, if not a year. Right, the same exact workouts, just ticking the boxes, and sometimes what you've got to do the long, boring, hard slog of progressing the same workouts and the same movements over and over and over again, and then getting the sleep and getting the hydration and getting the meals in and doing all the rest and managing the stress. And I was doing well. I was probably like the biggest I'd ever been. I was probably about 20 pounds heavier than I am now. Pre-coronavirus lockdowns and stuff, when the gyms were constantly open. So yeah, I was doing okay, and I was like the heaviest weight I'd been, I think I was about 225 pounds. I can remember I look like at some of the old videos I used to do back then, and I was hefty for me. So I was looking good, I was strong, I was feeling good, but in the gym, I was getting a bit fed up with the same stuff. It was like Groundhog Day, right? You know that film Groundhog Day? It was like that, like where he wakes up at the same day every single day. That's what it felt like. Like the same gym, the same surroundings, the same movements, the same exercise, at the same time of day, and it was just like mind-numbing, Yeah, so I was getting some really great progress, but it was just so stale, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I can remember this one particular session, sort of battling with myself not to cut it short because I was so fed up of it. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever had that where you're in the gym and you kind of like having this internal mental battle, like should I go home, should I not, should I go home? It's like, oh, I'm gonna go home, I can't be arsed with this, I'm fed up with this, I don't want to do it, I'm going home. And then like the angel of the devil on the shoulder, right? The angel comes in and is like, no, do your workout, right? don't be a bitch, all this stuff. So that was like me, with the angel and the devil. And I finished my workout, I couldn't have lived with myself, I didn't, but I was definitely like tempted to leave the gym more than once, and I think if I'd have carried on down that path, I probably would have just like ended up having like a month off or something because I was fed up. But I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to enjoy the gym again. I wanted to rekindle this enjoyment and this motivation I had for the gym, and I was just fed up with it. So that's what I felt. I felt fed up with it. It was like same shit, different day. Like I say, like Groundhog Day, and I I wanted something to change, but I didn't know what, right? But on the outside, I was kind of like pretending to be Mr. Fitness all the time, because I was still like well into my personal training career by this point. You know, a couple of years ago, I've been personal training for like 5 years at this time. So I had a reputation. I was posting online. You know, I was starting to get some sort of a presence. People in the local area knew who I was. You know, I'm not claiming to be some sort of celebrity, but the people who were interested in that kind of thing knew who I was, and I felt like I couldn't be seen to not be enjoying my training, because that's who I was. That was my identity. That's what people knew me for. And if I wasn't enjoying my training, what would that say about me, and what would that say about them? Like, if like they were like, well, if he's not enjoying training, what hope have the rest of us got? You know. So that's kind of how I felt, and that might not have been reality, but sometimes that's kind of how I felt, right? So that's how I acted on the outside. I acted like I was still enjoying it. But this one particular day, I just couldn't be bothered with my pull session. So pull session, if you don't know what pull session is, it's kind of like just all the pulling movements through your body, like deadlifts and rows and bicep curls and rear delts and side delts, you know, that sort of stuff. And so I knew, like, as I was finishing up with my previous client and I was getting ready to train, I knew I couldn't be bothered with this same stupid session again, you know, for like the millionth time. So I was like, no, come on, you've got to do it. So I got my logbook out. If you don't use a logbook, use a logbook. I got my logbook out, and I wrote in my logbook the workout out for what seemed like, honestly, the 1000th time. And I was just like, as I was writing it out, I was just like, I don't want to do it. I don't. And I was just like, I couldn't think of anything worse. I just wanted to go to sleep. You know, I couldn't be bothered. So I wrote the workout out, and I went into the gym with the full intention of doing that workout I've written out. But when I got there, and when I got into the weights area, I was just like, do you know what? I'm just gonna do what feels good. You know, I'm just going to do what I feel like doing, because it's one of them days where I know if I start doing this session, I'm not going to enjoy it, which is going to mean I'm going to perform worse, and it's going to make me more likely to sack future workouts off completely in the future. So I thought, I'm going to do a pull workout, and I know the structure of my pull workouts by now. I know what kind of movements need to go where, you know. So I knew enough about how to sort of auto-regulate my training. But I just thought, rather than sticking to these rigid movements, like there's a movement I want to do that I've been like depriving myself of for weeks because I've got these in my program, and it's like I'm like blinkers on. And I'm like, right, do what's in your program, and for a certain amount of time that works and that's necessary. But this particular day I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved my session. I just switched my movements out for movements that I actually wanted to do, and that felt good, and that I could like push my weights on, you know, and I didn't stick to these rigid rest times or sets or reps. I just did what felt good. I just did as many sets as I wanted to do, and then I moved on to a different exercise, did as many sets as I wanted to do, and I did another one and another one, and I felt like I wanted to go, and I had a longer workout than normal because I was just enjoying it. And that led me to like this realization that it's like, don't be too rigid in your plans, guys. Like, it's a really good thing that some of us, like me especially, like we get a plan, whether it's a diet plan or a training plan or a lifestyle plan or whatever it is, and we're like, right, okay, this is what the plan says, I must stick to it to the letter for the rest of my life, right? Okay, and you know, to a certain extent, when you're first getting started, that might be necessary. You might need to just stick to a certain way of doing things for a while to figure things out, to train your body, to learn the movements, because you're still learning, everything's kind of new. But if you're doing it for a long period of time, like back then I'd been training for about 9 years or 10 years maybe. I've been training for nearly 12 now, and you know, you have a certain level of flexibility because you know the structure of how things work. You've got a wide sort of repertoire of different exercises you can choose from. You know the structure of your you know, your pull workouts, or your push workouts, or your leg workouts, or your upper body workouts, your lower body workouts, or your full body workouts, or your arms workout, your shoulder workout, whatever workout it is. You know how to structure that workout, or hopefully you do. If you don't, I've got something cool for you. But hopefully you know how to structure them workouts, and you know, you can end up just following the structure and swapping out in and out the elements of the workout, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So what I ended up doing was I ended up sort of coming to that realization of like, so in the future, I still was like relatively strict, but I ended up like 50% of the time, 50% of my workout was like a relatively strict, rigid thing that I couldn't change because they were the movements that needed to progress, like the big movements that needed to progress, and you couldn't really replace them. But the other 50%, it was like free for all, right? It's like, so, you know, these are the types of movements I need to do, and when I get in the gym, I'm just gonna see what I feel like doing. And that's what I did, you know? And that's what I still do to an extent. It's because I do the movements, I get the hard movements out of the way that I need to do, and then it's like, okay, playtime, let's go and do what you want to do and get that enjoyment factor back. And I think that's so important for like the longevity of you having a good period of time, you know, in the gym and building muscle and not wanting to quit and not, you know, getting fed up with it and increasing your risk of giving up, increasing your risk of getting injured, increasing the risk of it, increasing your stress, you know? So that's what I did. I ended up marrying up the structure with the enjoyment, and them two pieces together, that was epic. And that just like completely like rekindled my love for training, and you know, I just absolutely fell in love with training again without sacrificing my results, you know. So I still followed a relatively similar style of training to what I was doing. In fact, it's a very similar style of training. I was just changing some of the exercises to the ones I loved. So I was able to fall back in love with training again and have that freedom and flexibility of the whole gym being my playground, rather than I have to go to this machine, then I have to do this barbell, then I have to do these dumbbells, you know. I could do what I wanted within reason, and without sacrificing my results. My results still kept going up and up and up, which was awesome. And can you imagine how that feels? So that's what I did. And if you guys are in kind of the same position as I was, like you've been following a strict, rigid training plan, but diet plan as well, you know, it could work for the diet plan as well, or lifestyle plan, or whatever it is. As long as you know the structure and you know like the macro level overall overarching structure of what you're following, you can swap in and out and add bits to your, even if it's your diet plan, you can add foods in and out that are similar to other foods. You can add exercises in and out that are similar to other exercises, and give yourself that more flexibility and that more flexible approach that will help you to keep motivated and keep you in love with your training and your muscle building efforts. So I hope that was useful, guys. If you want to learn a little bit more about the structure that I'm talking about in this episode, if you're like, that sounds cool, but I don't know what the hell the structure of the workout needs to be, right, or the structure of the diet needs to be, then I do have something really cool, and it's so close to being launched. It's called Training Mastery, and it's going to be a cool online course that teaches you everything you need to know about building muscle. It's going to have your nutrition stuff in there, it's going to have your supplementation stuff there, it's going to have your motivation stuff in there, and it's obviously going to have as much training content, workouts and theory content and all that sort of stuff as I can possibly pack into one course. So literally it's going to revolutionize the way you do things, but it's not quite ready yet. I'm really close to being ready, and I will tell you guys exclusively on this podcast when it is. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please drop me a subscription on YouTube, drop me a like on the video, a comment on the video. If you listen to the audio version of this on iTunes or Spotify or any other podcast app, drop me a review and let me know what you thought, and let me know what you want to see in the future. And don't forget to follow along with this channel as well. So hope you enjoy that, guys, and I'll see you next time for another episode of the Muscle Building Mastery Podcast. Bye.